Before we go anywhere, Fantasy Champions, you drink free today. And we are lucky enough here on the Happy Hour to be joined by a Fantasy Champion because Matthew, to the regret of some, to America, has won our NBC Happy Hour League Championship, beating the dark horse Dev. Matthew, congratulations. Any words, any speech on the Happy Hour Championship?
Yeah, listen, thank you so much, especially since my Jaron Hall pick did not work out there as well. But Juwan Johnson did come through for me. Everyone showed up. My fantasy ride or die, Amon-Ra St. Brown, of course. Last year's ride or die, Jalen Hurts. It's here for Dave Montgomery. And, of course, my guy 8, CeeDee Lamb, leading the way in a huge way. The Human Dortch and Wan'Dale Robinson, some pickups because Raheem Mostert got injured just before the end of it. At the end of the day, it wasn't particularly close. I was nervous. I was worried about Stupid Dev. I like that he changed his team name to Stupid Dev. He put up a valiant effort. There's no question about it. But disappointing performances for him from Kelsey and Henry. Obviously, Minshew and Mason Rudolph are not really doing a lot there. Look, sometimes the right thing happens in fantasy. Every once in a while, you'll see a league where the best team doesn't win, where the fantasy gods conspire against that person. But in this particular case, justice was in fact served. I was the best team from start to finish, from wire to wire. I lost only one game this entire year. Like Connor, you put up an amazing game against me when we played in the regular season. 181 points, you still lost. Jay Croucher with his stick men and his voodoo magic. He tried very hard, valiantly, to get me out. This Najee Harris and, Easton Stick, and he was not able to do so. Many came at the champ, many failed. The point, and I think the most important thing here is that for the rest of this show, for the rest of the season next year, really until a year from now, I demand Jay and you, Connor, refer to me as champion or champ. Our master I will accept. He who wears the crown I will accept. I just want acknowledgement from you guys. If you guys ever win the championship, I'll refer to you as champ, and you have not done so yet. So, yeah, I'm the champion, and I need you to refer to me as such.
Well, I just want to congratulate you, Matthew, because that was the worst post-game celebration interview since Richard Sherman lit up Aaron Andrews after he shut down Michael Crabtree. So you've taken that mantle from him. No, I couldn't be less happy about this outcome, to be honest. The fact that you were able to turn Juwan Johnson into peak Travis Kelce and Justice Al into Christian McCaffrey, it's tough, but you did have the best team. You did win, so congratulations for that, and congratulations for your humility.
Yeah, that too. Congrats to the champ. We're on the pre-show call. Matthew really didn't even want to speak about it, but we wanted to show, most importantly, his defeat, his win, and Dev's defeat. Zero wide receiver finally comes back to bite Dev. I don't know how he. Congratulations.
Real talk for a second. All jokes aside, Dev is a very good sport. Very good sport. Sweet kid. Does a great job with the graphics on our show. Did a great job with his team. We thought leaving the draft, we were like, dude, you literally only drafted Rashee Rice and Michael Pittman. You went zero wide receiver, which is not a strategy we see very often. But it wound him up in the finals. He did very well. So congratulations to Dev and to everyone, honestly, for putting up a valiant effort. But it was not enough, unfortunately. But listen, I want to thank Amon-Ra St. Brown, who, as Ian Hartitz pointed out on Twitter today, is the only non-quarterback to put up at least 20 fantasy points in every single round of the playoffs this year. My fantasy ride or die came through, at crunch time when you needed him the most. He came through. So thank you, Amon-Ra. Thank you, Jalen Hurts. Thank you, CeeDee Lamb. Of course, I call him 8s. But yeah, you know what? Like, give me a little bit of love here, Jay Croucher. Like, to your point, like I was dealing with, Mostert being out and a bunch of other injuries as well. I lost T.J. Hawkinson, so I had to piece it together. And so yeah, Justice Hill, Juwan Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson. All guys that were available for Dev or anyone else to be picked up, and they were all sitting there for the last couple of days. So managed to grab them. They performed for me, and I'm happy to be your champion. I promise to rule with fairness and kindness, benevolence. I will be a benevolent king to all of you, I promise.
Yes, I for one welcome our new insect overlord with his superstar team of wide receivers and running backs.
Make no mistake about it, too. This was a Cinderella story. I want people to understand that this didn't just, wasn't a dynasty. It wasn't Tom Brady's Patriots.
This isn't the Niners.
When you look at our Happy Hour League last year, these were the standings.
Yeah.
And
boy, 5-9.
Matthew's nifty team. I don't think there's another Matthew in our league. I don't know where this screenshot came from, but this was quite the Cinderella run.
Yes.
From 8th place to champion the following year, Matthew.
Yeah, you know what? Last year I'd never played on Yahoo before, and so there was some.
That's why.
No, I'm dead serious. I'm like,
No
if
shame.
you guys are gonna try to throw me under the bus, I'm gonna explain myself from last year, which is that you want to get it so it's a 14-team team, as you see that from last year. We were under the impression that it was one type of scoring. Turns out it was another. Half the league didn't understand that it was a 2-quarterback league. It was poorly commissioned last year. We replaced that commissioner as well. The rules were unclear. The Yahoo draft. Anyway, it was a whole thing. But this year, everyone was clear on the rules, and the league was run. I think what's more important here, and I appreciate you guys trying to rain on my parade. Go back to the standings from this year, please. Can we go back to the standings from this year?
We've lost that.
Yeah.
As opposed to living into the
It's on the
past.
archive.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Interesting. I went. What was the regular season? The regular season was 4. I went 13-1, I believe, in the regular season, whatever the regular season was, or 14-1. I only had one loss in the regular season, and of course, then I wiped the floor with Jay. I wiped the floor with stupid Dev throughout the playoffs. Had a first-round bye, of course, and I think the important lesson here is to completely ignore draft grades. Because I will say this, Yahoo, after my draft, where I drafted a lot of the players you saw on my team, David Montgomery, Jalen Hurts. I had Sam Howell as my quarterback for much of the year. Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, all those guys. Like, you saw all those guys, they were all drafted. I got a D. I got a D from Yahoo. That was my post-draft grade. They said very unlikely to make the playoffs. Well, we put that on the bulletin board. We showed the team. And you know what? They rallied around that. No one believed in us. No one believed in us except us right here. And we rose above it. Every single person came at us. Every single person left with an L. There you go.
Yep.
Hail to the champions. Hail to live at noon on the cock.
Right. I will note you had 2 losses, but to be fair, you did have the best team, Matthew. I think your best pick was probably Take Dell. He wasn't there. And you were able to bench Joe Flacco and Jerome Ford and still win the final by 54 points. So well done, Matthew. Deserving winner. Couldn't be less happy about it, but you are a deserving winner.
Absolutely. Our once kind ruler is now the Mad King.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matthew.
No, I was just going to say, look, there's a lot of benefits to winning the league, obviously. And I feel great about it. But the one thing that I think is probably the best part of this is the fact it makes Jay so unhappy. It makes him uncomfortable. He's going to toss and turn in his sleep for the next year, and rightfully so.
I almost had you, Matthew. Had you in my grasp, and then Mason Rudolph overthrew a wide open Deontay Johnson. But we were close to stick Ben next year anyway. Next year, Connor.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.